Got to check the time, right? Greetings to you and welcome to Uncensored Guyana. I'm Dr. Prasad, your precious gift. Coming to you this Sunday, it is almost Christmas. Almost Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. More cash grants on the way. More cash grants on the way. I've heard during the campaign trail that the president of Guyana said that it's possible that, did he say it's possible? Or did he say that there will be more cash grants to Guyanese before the end of the year, this year? So that meant that Guyanese would have received twice cash grants in 1 year. Lucky you. Lucky you. So I guess you all will be having a Merry Christmas this year. And hope that next year is indeed a happy one. New government, new challenges, new opportunities, old ministers, new projects. Let's see if the lifestyle of our Guyanese people would take a new path towards prosperity. Bye-bye poverty, welcome prosperity. Let's see if that happens. Now today, on this edition, there are quite a few things I need to cover. I'm discussing these issues and giving my perspective, while at the same time maintaining my objective, maintaining my purpose, which is representing all Guyanese. I'm here for the rights, for the fairness of every Guyanese citizen. The greatest country on earth, Guyana. I don't care which country I am. I don't care. At the end of the day, the greatest country on earth is Guyana. Why? Because I was born there. I am great because I came from Guyana. The greatest mother on earth is my mother. Why? Because she gave birth to me. So there are two greats in my life, Guyana and my mother. The greatest women in the world are women. No matter where they come from, women are the greatest. Unfortunately, because they have impregnated themselves with bad seed, and they grow that seed in bad environment, those bad seeds that were raised in bad environment grow up to become demons and scums and scraps and scrapes and disease parasites to that beautiful country we call Guyana. No fault of the mothers. No fault of the mothers. The fault is on the women who open their legs and allow bad men to impregnate them. That's what you get. Remember I said the women, mothers are not bad, women are bad. There's a difference. Mothers do what mothers do best, give birth to life and do their best to raise that child in the fair and likeness of what's right, what's fair. But if you plant a guinea seed, no matter how you try to alter it, no matter what environment you expose it to, it's going to grow up to become a guinea tree. It will bear the fruits of guinea. So if you allow bad men to put their penis in you, that's what you get. And when you get that, women have to defend themselves the best way they can against these bad men. So what I'm doing now, I'm calling for the leniency of that woman. And like I said before, I have to emphasize this emphatically. I have to stress this. I have to say this so that persons who are following me, who are subscribing to what I do, and if you intend to send donations or make contributions, but your objective is so that you can somehow contribute towards what I say. In other words, you're going to threaten me to withhold contributions if I don't sound the way you want me to sound. Listen very carefully. Before I move on, I have to get this out of the way. I have to get this out of the way. Listen to me very carefully. Whoever you are, you know what? I'll call your name. Singh, Mr. Singh, who contacted me yesterday. I'll just give him that. Singh. Mr. Singh contacted me yesterday and he made a commitment. He wants to make a donation to me directly. Ask for my information, which would have been around $2,000 American dollars. I mean, it can do a lot. He says, I would like to donate this to you. How can I get it to you? I said, okay, this is how you do it. Then he went on to say, he's like, you know, Doc, I love your show. I've been supporting it for a while, and I now put up my protective guard. I put up my protective guard because when people want to donate, they don't ask all that shit. They just say, hey, can I get your information? I want to do this, or how do I do this? And they're done. They don't go on in conversation. So then he said, I would like to, so I thought it's over. I said, okay, thank you very much. It means a lot. Then he's like, you know, I like it. So I'm like, okay, here it comes. He's like, but you know, we don't have to, but you know, I'm a very strong PPP member, and I like what you did for the party. I like what you did. It was very nice. I love that. But you know, maybe you should stop talking more. Maybe you shouldn't talk so much about the PNC. You know, don't give them too much attention, because it would make a lot of the Indians feel like, you know, you're undecided, you don't know which side you're on. And you say, I would like to contribute, but you know, if you can stay off the PNC thing, you can count on my support. You know what I told him? I said, Mister, you were trying to muzzle me for $2,000 or whatever amount. He said, no. I said, listen, keep your fucking money and don't contact me again. I said that. I said, keep your fucking money and don't contact me again. Yesterday. So I'm going to say this now to whoever else is considering making contribution. The fact that you are following me is because you like me as I am. The way I talk, my show, my content, this is what you like. That's why you're there. You didn't just pick randomly and say, hey, let me follow this guy to see if I can change him. No. You like exactly what I do, how I say it, how I present myself. You like that. That's why you're there. But if you think because you're going to make some whatever, or you have this idea that if you fan 100 or 1,000 or whatever it is, fan it, you're going to get my attention. You really don't know me, do you? You haven't been paying attention. I turned down before elections. 200,000 American dollars. I turned it down. And you think you can muzzle me for 2 fucking thousand? So if you have intentions to try to edit or think you can somehow use money to get me to say to stick to a certain narrative, I rather you switch the channel. Switch from the time you see me, scroll by. Switch the channel. Don't click on my videos. Don't click on my live. Unfriend me, block, whatever you got to do. Stay out of the feed. Stay out of the feed. Because there are hundreds of thousands, there are many people around the world, especially in Guyana, who needs me exactly as I am. Exactly as I am. Because this is the best, this is how I know to communicate to the people I need to communicate to. And I don't need to explain myself to anybody. I don't need to explain myself to anybody. I can call whoever I want to call. I can talk about whoever I want to talk about. That's it. So getting that out of the way. But I still need your money. Not the guy. You can keep it. Nice people. This lady that had to defend herself. This woman. This is not Amerindian or Indian or black. This woman. This 19-year-old woman in upper Guyana there, in the regions where they do a lot of mining and stuff, who went to take a social drink. Social drink. Whether she consumed alcohol or whatever beverage she consumed, it is not for us to decide what women consume. And this is another thing that I don't support, and it got me in a lot of problems in the past because I was always against it. No man, no king, no pope, no priest, no president, no minister, no government should decide what a woman does with her body, on her body, and for her body. No male should have that right to dictate what a woman does with her body. No male, no fucking government, nowhere. Whatever a woman wants to do with her body, it's her business. It's her business. My concern is, when I criticize, my concern is because we have all of these demonic predators in our society, predators, that anytime they see a woman's underwear, it may not have been her intention to seduce anybody, but she's just being free. She wants to dress to be comfortable. And women don't dress to impress men. Women dress to compete with other women. The predator might see an underwear or might see the protruding tits, and he's already thinking about opportunities to get to force her to have sex. And we call that rape. So when I talk about the way women dress, it's to protect them against these predators. But if a society where predators don't exist, even if a woman wants to walk naked, it's her fucking right. It's her right if she wants to walk naked. It's her body. It's not for us to dictate. But a lot of men have a problem with that because we are weak. We are weak to that. We see a woman's short skirt or her legs, we're like, oh my gosh, we're messed up in our heads. So it's because we are weak to women's bodies, we prefer they cover it. And still, it don't protect them from abuse and violent attacks from men. So a woman has a right to do whatever she wants. If she wants to smoke cigarette, if she wants to consume alcohol, it's her body. It's her body. And grab this. Most women that you find are going down a certain social path that is detriment to their health, It's because men force them, seduce them to that path. No woman wakes up overnight and decides she wants to become an alcoholic. She does it, one, to get a man's approval, two, to please the man. When you see women are junkies, smoking marijuana, smoking cocaine, it is men who put them to that. The demon behind their decision, it's a man, some ex. But women by themselves, they will choose life. They will choose health. This is why you find that every clinic, no matter which part in the country you go, every clinic is dominated by female patients. Not because they're always sick, but because women don't take risk or chances when it comes to their health, even if they have a slightest headache that may come from the lack of sex, they're going to the doctor because they think it's something else. This is why they live longer. So this woman who had to defend herself yesterday or the day before in Guyana against her 20-year-old boyfriend or husband or whatever, and as a result of her defending herself, she gave him a fatal wound that resulted in his death. She had to defend herself because based on the story, based on her account, she went to take a social drink like men do. Maybe the man is stressing the fuck out of her. She go to cool her mind. A 19-year-old, that's her alternative. That's what she thought of. To calm herself, to find some peace, she went to the shop to get a shot to calm herself down. She's grieving from all the domestic violence she has to face with that 19-year-old who should have been where? Working or something. She went back home. He armed himself with a machete, a cutlass. Armed himself with a cutlass. Sitting in the hammock, fantasizing in his underdeveloped brain that, oh, she gone out with the other guy. Yeah, she gone to the shop and she going to drink with all those other men there. Maybe she's prostituting. Maybe she got a lover there. I'm going to teach her a lesson. So when she arrived to her place of dwelling, he armed himself with a machete, a cutlass. And he registered the first blow to her shoulders. You know, that's what they do, right? They aim for your head, but they catch your shoulder. So she now, who because of the environment that she lives, knowing that men are preying on young women, she always had to walk with a protection, a knife. Because maybe she had experiences in the past where she was raped. So she had to protect herself, or she had to protect herself at all times against the same boyfriend who has a history of abusing her. So she was prepared. He hit her with a cutlass. And before he could have registered the second blow, which could have been the fatal blow, she just plunged the knife into him. Or maybe she bluffed, and it connected, resulting in him falling and subsequent death. And what did she do? What did she do? She didn't wait for him to see if he died while she registered the blow. After that, she ran to the station. It wasn't a fight. She ran to the station, made a report, told the cops, brought them to the scene. I mean, how is she a criminal? Who does that? Anybody who does premeditated attacks, who does that? What them niggas usually do? When they rob people and they injure people, they pull those stuff over their faces and they run from the law. They escape. They hit and they run. They hide. Those are demons. Those are criminals. But this young lady defended herself against continuous attack from this boyfriend. It's self-defense. Why should she face lockups or jail time? Why? Why? He could have finished her if she had no protection. If she had no protection, she has a history of abuse from this man. She's not drinking for nothing. 19-year-old. Imagine the hell she was living in under this guy. We all can say, why didn't she leave? Yeah, why? If you are a woman and you're saying, okay, if she's abused, she's 19-year-old, why she's not in school? You don't know the situation. You don't know under what circumstances she's in that relationship. You don't have no idea. The point is, no man has a right to put his hand on a woman. That's the point. No man has the right. No God-given right, no constitutional right to put his hand on a woman under no circumstance. No man has the right. Even if it's your wife, it doesn't mean she's your property. It means you enter an agreement that you're going to share this space for the purpose of family. You didn't get married because she signed over her rights to you. That, okay, I know your wife, you're my Lord and Master. That shit don't work. This in the 30s. That stuff don't work. Not because you marry a woman. Yeah, the intention, the psychological implications of that, or social implications of that, means if you marry a woman, you're the boss of her. I don't care what scriptures say. I really don't. The man is the head of the house. Who writes that? Who wrote that? Who wrote that? If you're telling me God inspired the whoever to write that, and because of that I should support that concept, that the man is the head of the house, so therefore the woman is his slave, then let's agree to everything. Not just that. Let's also agree that the seventh day is the day of the Lord, the Sabbath day. Sunday, today, is the day of evil. Let's also agree that that if you go with the Bible, that Jesus Christ is God. Let's agree on everything. Don't just agree on man is the head of the house. Let's agree on everything. Don't do selective texts. So if you look at the way the human structure is, men can never be the head of anything. Never. Based on nature. Religiously, yeah. Because men penned the scriptures. Men did it. But if you look at mother nature, the fact is mother nature, it means it's feminine. Women are at the top, not men. So all this crap has to stop. The woman should be released. She should face no jail time for defending herself. And let's get back to the laws of Guyana now. Let's get back to the laws. We also had a situation there in Parika, the back dam of Parika, where a female child, 8 years old, died instantly as a result of drunk driving. An asshole, a 22-year-old asshole, drunk, pissing drunk, drove his pickup in the path of a father and his daughter, escorting his daughter from school to their homes. When you say men don't take up the responsibility, here is a father who went to get his girl child just to guarantee her safety. He himself went to get his girl child to take her home, then probably go back to his job. The whole point of him going is to make sure she's safe. And on a road that has the span that two vehicles can come and go at the same time, a drunk driver took over the whole road and murdered this child, 8 years old. 8 years old. When her life now begins. That man, unlike this 19-year-old lady who defended herself, and as a result of that, she gave a fatal blow to the man who has a history of abusing her, she should be set free. This asshole who murdered the 8-year-old girl, he should get life in prison. I wouldn't suggest the death penalty. It's an accident, but he should get life in prison. Why? Why should that happen? Let's look at the legal system. We have a female Home Affairs Minister, right? And all the judges are female. All the magistrates are female. All the judges are female. And I am certain that 80% of the lawyers in Guyana are female. One of them took advantage of my mother. Yeah, black lawyer. Anyway, if the law, you want to stop crime, be it traffic crime, domestic crime, social crime, whatever crime, you want to stop crime, start with the law. If the crime of drinking and driving or driving under the influence of alcohol, if it had accompanied, if it came with severe jail time, and you made sure that you market the consequences of that in the papers, the media, social media, and let these fools know that when they go and they consume the alcohol and they want to start the vehicle, they are on the way to 10 years in prison. They're starting their prison time. If they know that, that's the first step in preventing death by driving under the influence of alcohol. That's the first step. If you pass the law, I know there are laws in the books about drinking and driving. I know that. But what is the punishment? A fucking ticket? A ticket? You think that's going to stop them? How long is that law? Does that law exist? Since when does it stop anybody from drinking and driving? Since when? They can just pay the ticket, right? If you really want to stop crime, you got to get serious when it comes to legislations, when it comes to the law. Drinking and driving, as long as your breath has a certain percentage of alcohol, like that man yesterday who murdered that 8-year-old child and put her father in the intensive care at the Dikendron Hospital. If he knew that if he got behind the wheel after consuming a certain percentage of alcohol, the chances are that he could get 10 years in prison for that, do you honestly think he's going to risk it? Or any one of them for that matter? Do you think they're going to risk it? You got to be crazy. You have to be a nut job to know that you have the chance of getting 10 years in prison if you are found under the influence. And all they have to do is do a breathalyzer test. That's all. You don't need a lawyer for that. You don't need FBI for that. You don't need detectives and CIA or whatever it is. All you need is to stop these fuckers on the road. You notice them driving, and you are an experienced traffic cop. You know what to look for. You pull them over. Step on the vehicle. Take the machine. Blow in this thing. Good. Under arrest. Two things. You take away their license, and they get prison. And you make sure you publicize it so the rest of them know. That's how you solve it. That's how you solve it. I love Europe, the white man's country. I love the white man's country. Yes, you may have those incidents there, but rarely happens. And when it does, the people know what are the consequences, so they know what they're risking. The other thing you have to do, and yes, I'm not talking to the government. Okay, I can't advise the government. Remember that, right? I can't advise the government. The Home Affairs Minister is a woman. I can't advise these people. They're smart. They have these police officers and these superintendents and these commissioners and all these commanders and all these people who are on the job for years. Listen now, all these police officers right now in the Guyana police force, in the top positions, they're on the job for years. You understand? All them years of experience, and they still can't solve the problem. These are not inexperienced people. These are cops. Some of them were on the road. They get promotion, and they still can't solve the problem. From minister to minister to minister to minister, and they still can't solve the problem. So what are you talking about experience? What? You have people who in the system who are cops, who are lawyers, who are politicians, and none of them. You still have fatal accidents on the road. You still have crime everywhere. You still have men abusing women every day. Then what is the problem? Why to this day, none of it is successful? All you keep hearing is that they come out, and now you have a new same government, just extension. And every time it happens, from the time an elections is finished and the new government term begins, all these ministries start to come out in public. They're doing press conferences, they're doing programs for the first 6 months. You know, they boost the public confidence again. Oh, we have a new system. We have a new minister. And oh, this person is so strict. It's like, hey, I want to see you go out and work. I talk to the people. It always happens. And after 6 months, when the whole thing gone and they get stale, they're back to the same thing. Lazing around, taking pay under the table, not giving a shit, same thing. Then when it comes close to the elections again, a year before the elections, they pick up tools again. Consultation, listen to the people, engage the people, same shit. So I'm not impressed. I'm here a while. I'm not impressed. Same thing. Okay. The only difference is, and I'll give the man credit for that. President Ali is the only president in the history of Guyana who has engaged people from day one. He's the only one. Single-handedly. Not his government, him. So I can give him that. He's known for that. He goes out, he mingles, he mixes. Yes, that's Ali. That's President Ali. That's who he is. But them people that he have in his camp. Anyway, you want to stop these debts? The law. That's what we have to govern society. Laws. If the laws are not revised, if you don't make it stricter, if you don't put harsher punishment on these lawbreakers, what you think will happen, man? Do you know who likes freedom? Women. This is why when it comes to crime, and you will think that women, since they're more emotionally inclined, you will think that they'll be more apt to be more criminally negligent because they're emotional. But women engages their mental faculty more than men. For a woman to commit a crime, she really got to be pushed to the edge. And it's not spontaneous. It takes years sometimes of pushing her and pushing her and pushing her and pushing her until she has no other alternative, than to react. You think it's two things our women go through? From being abused as girls, mishandled, they have to face the issue of being overweight. They have to face the issue of being they age too fast. They're not 16 anymore. They're not sexy anymore. And they still have to step up in terms of performance. And they have all of these social crimes and stigmatizations to deal with. But still, they're hard, they're tough, and they put a smile and they go about their daily jobs. Then, coupled with the fact that they have a husband or a boyfriend that is slapping them around every day, punishing them, insulting them, belittling them, abusing them, and they have to put up with that. Then they go to the workplace and they have some asshole is trying to fuck them, or some other colleagues nagging at them, gossiping, plotting on them. All of that a woman has to deal with. And most go through their lives peaceful without committing any offense. And one incident with a man going in his wife's phone and see her text some guy and tell the guy, oh my gosh, your dick is so nice. He don't know if she's commenting on a picture he might send her. He already fantasizing, okay, so she fucked the guy. He gone ballistic, contemplating where he can get a gun to kill the woman for that one incident. And she put up with a lifetime of abuse, of other women contacting her that they're sleeping with her husband, babies all over the place. She put up with that. And never once she thought about doing him that harm. So when you see women like that 19-year-old who had to defend herself, and it resulted in the man losing his life, I say, free the woman, release her. She's not a lunatic. She has not been diagnosed with some mental disease or problems that she just took a knife and rushed and stabbed somebody. No. The women who are mentally diseased and they walk around in the city, even the junkies who are junkies as a result of men manipulating them to go that way, even they, women like that, don't walk around and stabbing people randomly. They don't even steal. They don't even do that. And you think a woman who has lived a life or endured a domestic relationship, violent, and she decides to defend herself, and as a result of that, she may injure her husband or partner to the point where he dies. You think she's a mental case? No. Her back was against the wall. She can't, there's no way, when your back is against the wall, that's the end of it. You got to know, just go forward. And if going forward means you have to face that abuser and he's blocking your path with weapons, and all you have is something to defend you, you'll use whatever tool you have. She should walk free. The man who murdered that 8-year-old girl because he was drunk while driving, he should have life in prison. If the laws are changed, if there's harsher punishment, Home Affairs Minister, female Home Affairs Minister, stand up for these women and girls. Yes. The man has one job: protect. If a woman has to kill you in defense of herself, then you failed as a man. You did not live up to your responsibility of protecting. You can't be the predator. You are there to protect the woman. But if she has to protect herself from you, then you deserve whatever you get. Whatever you got, you deserve that. She's free. But as men, our responsibility is to protect. If you know that you have consumed alcohol, you understand the consequences going behind the wheel. When you consume alcohol, you're dizzy. As long as you're dizzy in your head, nothing else works. You lose control. Your motor skills is on the questioning. Are you still going to want to drive? Even if it's about firing a weapon, you should know about the consequences. This is why I said the driver who murdered this girl and all the drivers who caused fatal accidents because they were under the influence of alcohol, whether they're the one driving the vehicle where the accident killed people in the vehicle, even if it's a crash up and no other victims but the victims in the car or the vehicle to which the drunk driver was driving, be it a man or a woman, let me be specific. If you are a male or a female and you get behind the wheel knowing that you're drunk and you ran into a culvert or you ran into some building or something like that and you killed people in your vehicle, you should be life in prison. You should face, as long as you survive, if you survive and they can establish that you were drunk, you should face life in prison. Either way, those should be the laws. The harsher punishment for men who abuse women. You can talk, say stuff. If it's verbal abuse, then she has to know. If the woman wants to stay around in a relationship where the man is calling her names every day, telling her she's ugly, oh, you're too fat, oh, you look at your face, oh, you smell, oh, your hair, oh, you're too black, oh, you're this, oh, you're too that, and she wants to stay in that relationship, good for you. Yeah, good for you. Words are words. But if he's using things, his hand or some weapon to inflict physical harm on your body, such a man should face jail time. When she go make a report to the police station, they should arrest him. Say, madam, this thing don't work like that. You can't come and say, oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to press charges. No, it don't work like that. If you come and make a report and you go, you get a medical, and the doctor says, yes, these wounds were sustained by so, then the man must face criminal charges. When he's out, you can take him back if you want, but he has to face criminal charges. The laws must be strict to deal with men like that. Why are we giving these men a break all the time? You would think women who are judges and magistrates would feel for women. You would think they would feel for women. Look, I am sure, based on the way things work in Guyana, that man who caused the death of that 8-year-old child because of his drunk driving, I am sure he would get bail. You get a lawyer, you get some light sentence or pay a fine, whatever. I'm sure. And he'll do it again. He's going to drink and drive again. Wait and see. Prove me wrong. Now, President Donald Trump, bombed another boat. Make America fight again. Donald Trump bombed another boat. This is 3 in a month. The man ain't taking chances. I agree. Like I said, you talk to them, they don't hear. You pass the law and they still don't hear, then bomb the hell out of them. So if they decide to jump in a boat, knowing that they have some kind of drugs, they know that it's a suicide mission. Let them go. This is why when words fail, you need to act. So the system in Guyana must be the same. Have you seen recently This thug, this thug, this parasite, social parasite, attempted to rob a motorcyclist of his motorcycle in broad public, busy traffic, busy roadways. I think it's somewhere in the East Coast, somewhere there. People shouting and screaming, say, hey, leave the man, you want to rob the man of his bike. He's fighting with the guy to rob the man of his bike, to ride away with his bike. We still have good black people around that fought him off, helped the man. I'm sure it's a foreigner. I'm sure it's one of these immigrants from Venezuela that he targeted. The man was because a lot of the foreigners from Venezuela and Brazil, they use a lot of bikes because they don't need a license really. It's not like a car. They move around more bikes. Even Suriname, they're the ones who use a lot of the bikes, the e-bikes and the other bikes. So this criminal would have targeted and said, oh, this is not a Guyanese, this is a foreigner. And go to relieve the man of his bike, rob the man of his bike. And you see there, the man is like, can't fight back, let the bike go. Life is important, but it's good for the good citizens. A man who got involved and ran to help and fight off the criminal while others were filming and shouting. But the point is, the man was able to save his bike from being robbed. On the road, vehicles passing. You see the extent to this kind of crime, and you have these cops in their nice suits are saying, oh, we have a decline in serious crime. Then what the fuck you call that? What is serious crime? Robbery under arms? And these other crimes are not serious? Crime is crime. Because all these crimes can result in death. The whole definition of serious crime is when you have fatalities. Fatalities. This man who attempted to rob this other man on the roads in Guyana of his bike. Remember the other day in one of the ghettos where that low-life, not working fucking scum injured an older guy on the roadways, daytime, stole his items. But we have that case there. If there was nobody around and that biker resisted, that man could have used some kind of weapon and murdered that biker for his motorcycle. Oh, then it is a serious crime because a life was taken? Crime is crime, regardless. If you pull somebody's chain from their neck, that's a serious crime. If you throw acid in somebody's face, that's a serious crime. If you beat up on your wife or your girlfriend, that's a serious crime. If you harm a child, that's a serious crime. If you rob someone, you steal from them, you break into their house, those are serious crime because all of those crimes can, under the worst circumstance, they can result in death. That's why criminals arm themselves when they're going to commit a crime. They arm themselves because they are preparing for the worst. That if this person puts up a resistance, they're going to kill them to get their ring or their chain. Crime is crime. A serious crime, serious shit. That's supposed to bring comfort to the Guyanese people. That's supposed to comfort them. Stricter punishment. Harsher punishment. Bring a system of no bail, or you make the bail so high that they can't afford it. You're gonna put 200,000 bail. That's what is a monthly salary. That's the minimum wage. That's the minimum wage. If you say you're gonna start bail as from 5 million from 5 million. Okay, good. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere. See if they're going to commit crime. Fine. You don't want to be harsh like me. You don't want to, okay, fine. Then make the bail harsher. Heavier bail. A man beats his wife up, put the bail from like 5 million. Yeah. See if he'll do it. 5 million. And you make sure you start publicizing that. That's what they should be doing. When you have these press conferences, talk about the consequences to committing crime. Not about statistics. That don't give hope. Consequences. So while you sit there and talk about how serious crime, like they have jokey crime and serious crime. They have funny crimes and they have serious crimes. Yeah, since serious crimes is on the decline based on what you cops are saying, the government. Yeah, after what? 6 months, we'll see. While you have these press conferences, educate the criminals. They're still out there. They're hiding from you. Tell them, listen, if you rob someone, it matters not what item you relieve that person of. When you do it and we catch you, station bail is from 5 million Guyana dollars. That's station bail. 5 million. If you are convicted, the least amount of jail time is 10 years. Let them know that. 10 years. If you kill someone and the evidence is overwhelming that you are the culprit, you were caught in the act, we see you, we have you on video, we have everything that we know it's you, and we arrest you, the bail is from $20 million. 20. And if you are convicted beyond the shadow of a doubt that you are the culprit, the murderer, it's over for you. The state is going to kill you. You'll die. If you do that, I can give you my guarantee that all the crime you're talking about would disappear. Would disappear. Because you let them know that, hey, all them cameras here are working. All them cameras are working. So people, you encourage the people. You tell the citizens, listen, citizens, go out with your jewelry. Go have fun in the city. Enjoy the roads the president is building. Enjoy your country. See the beauty. Drive across the Irfan Ali River Bridge, back and forth. Have fun with your family. Enjoy the egg ball. Enjoy the demico stuff and the nice bread and cassava bread. And okay, not cassava bread. I'm not familiar with these things. Salara, pint art, the ice cream. Damn, my social skills suck. I don't know shit about these things. You understand? Pizza, the roti and the curry. Yeah, all these things. Go out and enjoy it. Have fun. Them criminals know. Don't be scared. Go out and have fun. We're telling you. We're giving a guarantee. Go out and have fun. Anybody approaches you, anybody attacks you, if you see anybody walking up to you and suddenly they put something over their face, run like hell, and scream, scream, so the rest of people see, look, thief, thief, thief. Even if they don't want to do you anything, the fact that they start to pull up this mask over their face, scream, shout, alert the police. The police will call them in for questioning. Hey, do we have a pandemic that we don't know about? Is there a virus in the air? Why are you walking around with face masks? Why are you covering your face like that in public? What are you afraid of? What's your name? Give me your ID. Put it in the system. Run it. You might get a hit. He might be wanted for something. That's why he's walking with masks. Then you have your criminal. They need to know that. So when they go out, the cameras will capture their face and their eyes. So you have all the DNA that you need. So when they commit crime, they're in the system. You have your crowd control system. You have all those things. The people must be free to enjoy their country. The other thing I would love for the cops to do, while they're talking about being at certain junction points to look at overtaking, yeah, but how many times haven't you guys tried that thing, man? How many times haven't you tried that? The cops only solve crime when the crime already happened. Is that the reason? I mean, when you want to be a protector, you don't protect the victim, you protect the person from becoming a victim. The police are only involved when they're victims. The police, you're supposed to be there to what? Prevent crime, not solve it. Prevent it. Isn't it better for you? You have less work to do, right? You can solve the crime, it's better. I mean, you can prevent the crime, it's better. You can sit in the offices and get fat. But what is your use to come to solve crime? I want you to prevent the crime from happening. But the public must be aware of the strategies. Say, hey, if you have 10,000 vehicles on the road every day, all day, 1,000 are cops, plainclothes cops. They're just driving. Let the public know, hey, we don't want to surprise you, but we'll tell you. We have 1,000 plainclothes cops in private vehicles just driving all over the place. They're just parked randomly. They're blending in. They're undercover. All over the country they are. They're looking for these things. So you know, if you're speeding, they're going to pull you over. If you're driving like a lunatic, they're going to pull you over. If they notice that you are driving in a suspicious manner, they're going to pull you over. You must know that there are cops all the time, all day, all night on the roadways, observing. And they have a lot of cops. So they shift. Some work the morning shift, some work the night shift. They're everywhere in plain clothes. They might be walking, sitting, drinking something at the bar. They might be at a store, at a cafe, just pretending like they're shopping. But they're cops. Let the public know that when you see a guy standing there and he looks like he's what do you call it, chanting. He's chanting some nice girl, and you think, oh, they're just, no, they could be cops. They're looking around, looking for criminals. So when you think you can go out anywhere to commit crime, the person you're trying to commit a crime on can very well be a cop. And there you lose your life. So what I would like to see is a lot of cops traffic cops, before you have 10 of them at some corner in uniform, waiting to spot some suspicious driver. No, have 5 of them driving behind the driver. And they can signal the people at the end. Listen, we have a driver here, number plate so. He's coming your direction, pull him over. They're right there. You gotta stop crime. Don't solve it, stop it. Prevent it. You prevent it, harsher punishment. Harsher punishment for criminals who break the law. And we're good, we don't have a problem. Then I have something else to talk about. I have to find something else to talk about. Like I said before, protect our women. Protect our women. Now, before I go, all the time we talk about poverty on the rise, poverty on the rise. You can't want it all. If you want a beautiful country, you gotta cut down on your consumption. Because all of these infrastructure, all these roads that are being built, everything that is being developed in Guyana, somebody has to pay for it. It's not the ministers, nor the president, you the citizens. Most of these projects are done by loans from the World Bank or the IMF or the IDB or whatever loans. The Irfan Ali River Bridge was built by virtue of loans, not oil money. A lot of the roads that are being built in Guyana is not oil money, loans. So if the government should use money from the national fund or from the treasury to do all the jobs that it has to do in the country would be bankrupt. Loans has to fund the projects that are being done. Now, when these loans are secured, how do you think they're paid? By the taxpayers. They have to take money from taxpayers to pay these loans. You, the Guyanese citizen, you have to pay for your development. This is not a gift that nobody's paying for. No, it's not free. All the stuff you're seeing around the country is not free. You're paying for it. Everything from the housing sector to drainage and irrigation, to roads, to the sugar industry, to the rice industry, every development, every sector that sees development, that development came as a result of loans secured. Loans. And you, the taxpayers, you have to repay the loans. You, your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren has to pay the money back. And how do you pay the money back? By your taxes. Your taxes. So when you have this issue of poverty, you have to make a difference. You have to change it. If you want to end poverty in Guyana, more people have to be employed. More people have to go in the workplace. But if you have 30% of the people who don't want to work, they don't want a salary, then you can't deal with the poverty. You can't fix it. A small amount can't pay for the larger amount. How much can the business community do? Every time the country has to secure loans to balance its budget, every time. Because more people are not working. So if more people go out to work, by virtue of you working, you're contributing towards the repayment of all these loans and the lowering of prices in the shop. You're contributing to price drop. But if you don't work, if you don't seek any employment, you don't want to start a business, you don't want to do anything but fucking steal, rob, then poverty will be permanent for you. Just for you. So if we have 30% of the Guyanese who are crying out that they're poverty stricken, they're living below the poverty line, it's their own choice. Because they can get a job. You get a job, you pay taxes, your taxes go towards paying the loan, and by paying the loan, your country gets more money in its treasury. Then what happens? The value of the Guyana dollars rises. And when the value rises, then the exchange becomes low, so prices will automatically be affected like that. But you don't do anything, you don't contribute. Just complain, and stop making so many kids. 2 children to a household. If you can't afford it, or the man alone has a job, then 2 kids are good. Even if both husband and wife are working, but you're paying a house rent, 2 is enough. What is your justification? He works at a company that he could be fired from. You don't have a job, but every year you're pushing out a baby. You would be poor. It's not the government's choice, it's yours. You choose to be poor by making many kids. That's the definition of poverty. Too many children. You think when they say, oh my gosh, you have 5 kids, you're rich? No, you're poor. 1 child is rich. 2, you're rich. 5 and 6, you're poor. And whose fault is that? The government? No, don't be fun. Don't let these politicians use you and try to tell you that, oh, it's the government's fault if you can't provide for your kids. The government didn't tell you to go fuck and get pregnant every year. They didn't tell you to do that. You should think with your future. You can do your best to give 2 children the best life possible. 2. You want more than 2, and you don't own a business, you're not a professional, as in a professional career, you don't have a degree or a master's, then how can you provide for 3 and 4? Welfare? You know how children have to struggle when they lack? But if you have 1 kid, 1 child you have, you're not paying a rent. Grab this now. I'm closing with this. You have 1 kid. You might be a single parent, just a woman. You have 1 child, some boyfriend somewhere, but you have 1 kid. You don't have a rent to pay. You're living at mommy. You're not paying a rent. I must stress this. Let me stress this. 1 child. You are not paying a rent. You have a job. You get a salary at the end of the month. And you are talking about poverty? Then you are a bad, irresponsible single parent. You are selfish for you to complain about poverty, and you only have 1 kid, no house rent to pay, and you can't balance your life. Why? Because every month you got to buy a new pair of the pair. You got to buy a new weave, a new bag, new shoes. You need a new iPhone every month. Then you know that you need to buy new clothing. When you're broke, you don't need it. From the time you get your salary, then you know you can't take the bus anymore. You need a taxi. Then you know that the food in the house doesn't taste good. You need junk food. Then you know, oh my gosh, I can't wear this dress anymore. I haven't, yeah. Only then you know all the needs you have when you have money in your hand. But when you don't have money, the middle of the month, you're advising other women on how to manage their money. At the middle of the month, when you're broke, then you're giving advice on social media. Girl, I cook every day, and girl, this and girl, that, and oh no, you have to know to balance your money. Oh, there's when you are broke. But when you have money, you get your money at the end of the month, you forget all the advice. You somehow have amnesia. You don't remember anything anymore. All you know is that shit, I don't like this phone anymore. Gosh, my shoe, I can't believe I've been wearing this shoe for like a month. Oh my gosh, this bag, 2 weeks. I don't have me. I can't pretend female. It's like shit. I'm too masculine. I'm too male for that shit. Anyway, you get my point. If you have one child, count your blessing. You have two, and you live with a man who is contributing. He is doing his best. Be good. Be good. Tell all these other hustlers who trying to get a piece of your pussy, say, hey, buddy, listen, don't fuck this up for me. Please don't. I got 2 kids and a good man. All right? Please don't. Bye-bye. Because you're going to screw that life up for some new guy who is coming around and photoshopping his picture to show you that he gets some abs and doing some photo thing with some fake dick, and then you're stupid. You're going to risk that life for some asshole who has nothing to do. Then when he gets a piece and he's tired of you, you are stuck now with 2 kids and possibly pregnant with one for this other asshole that you left your good husband for. Then 3 kids come. Then eventually you're bored. Your girlfriends tell you, who they themselves are a bunch of lowlife. They say, girl, don't stress yourself, or let's go out tonight. Let's go to the clubs. Meet some new guys. You're still young. Yeah, 3 kids. And still young. Let's go have some fun. Look, don't worry, these men, girl. Just go live your life. It's your birthday. And you stuck the kids with somebody. You're going out to have your fun. The next thing you know, you meet some guy at a club who tells you he likes children. And you're like, oh my gosh, finally God sent me a man to help me take care of these 2 kids with one guy and this one kid with another guy. Oh, thank you, Jesus. You are so kind. Then the new guy comes, get enough, you get pregnant. He's like, I ain't settled with this shit. He's gone. 4 kids. 3 different men. You get the point? Good. Enjoy your Sunday. Until next time. Bye-bye now.